with ads in the responsive theme, connecting your ads to your responsive core publisher site, how to create new ad unit names in DFP, how to create custom ad targeting in DFP, or double-click for publisher for those who don't know it as DFP. And then finally, we'll talk about next steps for switching to the responsive theme. So there are some things that are new with ads in the responsive theme. For anyone that is used to doing ads in Modular or River, what we decided to do is to update our configuration to actually fit the current best practices used by Google and NPR today. So the current way that we are incorporating ads in Core Publisher and the Modular and River theme is kind of customized to Core Publisher, and we wanted to make sure that we were allowing for all of the great things that you can do in DFP. And in order to do that, we have moved that targeting that you were previously able to do in Core Publisher out, and now you will be doing all of your configuration in DoubleClick for Publisher. It does allow you to do custom targeting, so that is an advantage to doing all of your configuration in DFP, and we'll talk a lot about what custom targeting is in a few slides. But basically, it allows you to categorize your ads to show up on a specific category, tag, topic, program, or if you just want things to show up on one specific page like your home page. It also has changed the way ads look on post pages as well as on the home page. So we'll talk about that and take a look at a few example sites that are live in the responsive theme already. So yesterday I mentioned in the kickoff call that you will have a few ad unit sizes available for you, and this is just a reiteration of that. On the desktop, you will have one 728 by 90, and that is your top banner ad. That's right under your navigation, and it's a really long ad used a lot commonly during pledge drives. You also have three 300 by 250 size, which are the medium the medium rectangle size ads that you see a lot on sites now. It typically in Modular and River would be found in your right rail. On tablet, you do have those same options. So you have one 728 by 90 and three 300 by 250. On mobile, you will have one 320 by 50 size. So this screen is a screen grab of what you have currently in the Modular and River themes. You probably did this maybe once, or maybe someone specific at the station does this every once in a while. So you don't usually, this isn't a configuration page that you go to often, but you now can go to Configure Core Publisher, and there's an Add Config option. And then the Add Config option will take you to this screen that you see on the right-hand side. So that's your ad placement area. And you have the ability to enter in your ad unit names from your DFP account. And then you can select which block you want them to show up in. So that is either right rail first, right rail second, or your top banner. So that's your placement. And then you can decide if you want it to show up on a specific category page or if you want it to show up on the home page. So you did have the ability to connect to DFP, choose your block placement, or select where you want the ad to appear, and then you could target, but it really wasn't an open custom targeting. You had to pick a specific category or home page, so it made it difficult if you wanted to target to a few different pages, or if you wanted to target to a program, you weren't able to do that in Modular or River. So this is something that's different now with the responsive theme. In the responsive Core Publisher theme, you will be able to manage your ads solely in DoubleClick for Publisher, and there are 3 steps to setting up your DFP account. in order to connect it to your responsive theme site. So the first step is to provide us with your DFP network code. And I'll go through each one of these steps with you in DFP so you can get an idea of what you're going to have to do on your own. The next step is to create your ad unit names. So every site is going to have a group of standard ad unit names that you're going to have to include into your DFP account. Next, you'll have to target. So you'll have to actually set up targeting in your DFP line item. So each line item that you have active now, you'll have to decide where you want that ad to show up. So let's go through that first step. How do you connect your core publisher responsive site to DFP? So there are two things that connect your core publisher responsive site to DFP. The first thing is your network code, and every station that is using DFP, if you log into DFP, you have an admin tab, and in that admin tab, you will have basic information about your account, and one of those items is your network code. So we'll have to know what your network code is in order to connect your DFP account to your core publisher site. The second item that we'll need is you'll have to come up with an ad unit prefix. An ad unit prefix is basically just identifying your station, your unique station to your account. Normally, it's going to be your call letters for stations that might be like Vermont Public Radio. Maybe you want to choose an ad unit prefix like Vermont. But you will have to choose one specifically for your account. And then you'll have to add the ad unit prefix into your ad unit name so that it's easy to target your ads to your site. So this is an example of where you would go to find your network code, and I'll take this time to just jump out and go into my DFP account just so you guys can have an idea of how this will actually work. So I'm just going to take a minute here to go over to my browser window and find my DFP account. And then we can go through these steps together. Okay, so here is my DFP account. If you haven't been there for a while, you can just Google DFP login, and there is a login screen where you can type in your username and password. So once you log into DFP, you're going to go to the admin tab. And in that admin tab, that's where you're going to find your basic information for your account. So here is that network code that you're going to look for. And once you find it, you would email your network code as well as your ad unit prefix that you've chosen for your station to either me, myself, or Rakisha Chase, and then we can make sure we get that into your Backstage account. And that way you can actually test how ads work on Backstage. We haven't sent out the Backstage links just yet. We are wrapping up the configuration for that, and we'll be sending those out soon. But in the meantime, please send us your network code and your ad unit prefix. All right, so that's where you would find your network code. So the next step after you have found your network code and you have determined what you want your ad unit prefix to be, there are 6 new standard ad unit names that you must add to your DFP account. This will allow you to select which block your ad will display in on your core publisher site. So remember, I talked about the blocks that you now have available. You have a top banner ad. If you want that top banner ad to show up on your desktop, then you would have to make sure you use the ad unit name leaderboard_1. If you want an ad to show up on your tablet in that top banner area, that 728 by 90 area, then you would have to use the ad unit name tablet_1. If you want your ads to show up in your 300 by 250 medium rectangle size ad units, there are 3 of them. There's the right rail first, which is now called medium 1. The right rail second, which is now called medium 2, the right rail third, which is medium 3. So if you want your ads to show up in those rectangle size block spaces, you want to use those medium ad unit names. And then finally, for your mobile ad, you want to make sure that you are using the mobile_1 to identify which one of your ads or which ads you would like to show up on mobile. We will provide you with a CSV containing the ad unit names that you can import into DFP. So the first step in setting up your ad units is to actually take the CSV that we'll provide to you. For my stations, I sent out an email just about probably an hour ago that includes a checklist. If you download that checklist, there is a link to the CSV file in that checklist. So go ahead and make sure you download the checklist that was included in my email today, and you'll have that CSV file. It will be in a Dropbox, just so you're aware of it. But when you get to that link, you want to download the CSV file. So once you have opened up that CSV file, you want to find where it says My Call Letters. You want to replace that text and only that text. You don't want to touch anything else in any column except for the text that says My Call Letters. And you want to replace My Call Letters with the actual ad unit prefix you've chosen. So if you are station WTST, you can do a control find or command find, and you can actually do a replace all and just replace where it says My Call Letters with WTST, with whatever your call letters are, whatever you've chosen as your ad unit prefix. Once you do that, you want to make sure you save the file on your desktop so you are able to find it later. And after you save that file on your desktop, you have to go into DFP and log into DFP and go to the Inventory tab. You select the Inventory tab, and then you'll see an area where you can bulk upload new ad unit names. That's when you're going to browse your desktop for your recently saved CSV file, and you want to upload it into DFP. So just a few reminders about ad units in uploading. So importing the list of ad unit names makes them available for you to associate with your ads that currently exist in your DFP account. Whatever active ads you currently have, you can associate those to these new ad units, and then that will make it accessible for you to see them on your Backstage site once we set those up. So it's not going to negatively impact any live ads that you have right now on your actual site. You don't have to recreate any line items. All you're doing is adding a new ad unit name to your active ads that are live on your site right now. And that's just going to make them available for you to see how they work in the responsive theme on Backstage. In order to get your ads in DFP to display on your responsive site, you do have to do that. You do have to associate them with one of the, or more than one of the new ad unit names. So let's just take a step into the tool to see how this is going to work. So I'm going to go into DFP, and I'm going to first show you how the CSV file will look, and after that I will show you what's next after that. So here's the CSV file. You want to download it onto your computer when you open up the Dropbox file. And once you download it onto your computer, you'll be able to see the file and then make the edits that you need. You can open it in Excel, which is completely fine. So here's the file. And I just want to do a command find if you're on a Mac, or control find, and then you want to find my call letters. And you want to replace it with your actual call letters, which for me, I'll say it's WTST. Oops, sorry. Call letters. Ah, missing an L. Sorry, guys. And once you do that, all you have to do now is save your file. Make sure you save it with a name, or save it in a place where you'll remember where it is. So it's easy if you just save it to your desktop, wherever it's easiest for you to find. And once you save it, you'll be able to go back to it once you get to DFP. So now, how do you enter this file into DFP? You want to go to your Inventory tab. And then you're going to find this Bulk Upload New Ad Units option. You want to select that button, and it will ask you to browse your desktop. Choose a file. And then you can find the file that you just saved. You want to make sure you have a really good file name so it's easy to find. And then after you do that, you find your file and upload it. It's going to verify the upload, so it might take a few minutes, don't worry, but it will let you know when it's complete. All right, so that's pretty easy. The next step, after you have gotten your ad unit, your network code, and you have sent us your ad unit prefix, you have set up your ad unit names, so you have included that CSV file. The next thing you're going to have to do is now associate all of your active ads to these new ad unit names, and that's going to make sure that you're setting up placement for your ads. So let's take a look at how to do that. In order to associate your ad unit names with your ads in DFP, you're going to want to follow these next steps. You're going to log into your DFP account and go to your Orders tab. On your Orders tab, you're going to click on the name of the order with the ad that you want to display on your responsive site. So you want to choose a delivering ad. Next, you're going to go to your actual line item. So you're going to have to do this for each line item that you would like to show up on your responsive site. Once you get into a specific line item, you're automatically going to end up on the settings page. There are a few things that we need to do on the settings page. You want to make sure that you check the inventory sizes field to make sure that the following sizes are entered. This is going to allow you to use any of the ad placement blocks that we have available in Core Publisher Responsive. The 300 by 250, the 728 by 90, and the 320 by 50. Now, you will have to make sure that you have creatives in those sizes if you want them to show up in those spots. If you have an ad that is smaller, so if you have something that you want to go in the top banner area, but it's a little smaller than 728 by 90, maybe it's a 700 by 80, it can still fit in the 728 by 90 spot. You just need to make sure you're creating your creative and they stay within those parameters. They can be smaller, but you don't want to have something that is larger than the 300 size if you're placing it in the 300 by 250 area. So you want to do your inventory sizes first. This will make all of the available ad unit names accessible in DFP for this line item. So add those inventory options. Next, you want to scroll down to the bottom of that page and you want to find the ad targeting section. Under the Browse tab, you'll notice there is a folder that is called Ad Units. If you click on that folder, it will actually give you a type in filter items field where you can type in the ad unit names that you would like to use. So this is where you're actually selecting your placement. So where do you want this ad to show up? If you want it to show up in all of these places, then you would add in all 6 of your ad unit names. And as you start to type in that field, it will autocomplete for you. So if you start to type in your ad unit prefix, it will find all of the ad units that are available with that prefix. So we recommend just selecting all of them if you want a specific ad to show up run of site. Run of site means it's going to show up everywhere that an ad can possibly show up. Before you move away from this page, you want to make sure you click the Save button, and that will save all your changes. So let's try this in the tool so we can see what this will look like when you're actually in your DFP account. So back in DFP, we want to go to your orders. And I just want to look for the ones that are delivering. So here is a delivering ad. And these are all of my line items in that order. And I want to find one that's delivering. So I'm going to actually click on the line item. And you're going to have to do this for each line item that you want to show. So the first thing you want to do is check your inventory sizes. As I mentioned earlier, if you didn't have these sizes in there, then you wouldn't be able to select any ad unit names. So you have to make sure you have the inventory sizes in there. And if you want your ad to show up in multiple areas, then you do want to make sure you enter them here. So there are those 2, and then the 728 by 90. I just started typing in 728, and it already shows me. I can check it. I can unselect it. And then I'm just hitting Tab to add it. So now that I have my inventory sizes in there, I can now scroll down to the bottom of the page. And it's already selected the Browse tab, and I want to use the Ad Unit folder. I'm just going to remove this criteria here. So now, now that I'm in the Ad Unit folder, I can start typing in my Ad Unit prefix. And for this account, it's actually Erin. So I'm going to include the leaderboard. I'm going to click Include, Medium 1, Medium 2, Medium 3, and Tablet. So now those are included. I've included all of my ad unit names, and so this is run of site. This is going to show this specific line item or this ad in all of those places. Before I do anything else, I want to save. Sometimes you'll get this overbook warning depending on what you have under your preferences. That's fine. You can just save an overbook. And then it lets you know at the top when your line item has been successfully updated. Now, the changes that you make in DFP might take a little while for them to actually start showing up on your Backstage account. I usually tell people make your changes and then check back within half an hour. Usually by that time it's live in Backstage. It does take a little while for DFP to talk to Core Publisher, but don't worry too much if you don't see them show up right away. Just give it a little bit of time for those changes to get saved and then sent over to your Core Publisher site. All right. So the next section is, now that you have done that, you have set up your, you have given us your network code, you have given us your ad unit prefix, you have updated the CSV file and uploaded your ad unit names, and now you have associated your delivering line items to the specific block placements that you want. Now, this is just a little bit of information on custom targeting. Just a basic definition for you guys. What is custom targeting? Custom targeting will allow you to target ads to show up or to not show up on a specific page on your site. So, for example, if you have a local music program and your underwriters have sold a specific ad to show up on that program page, you can set that now. Or if your underwriters have set it up where they do not want an ad to show up on a specific business partnership page, you can set it up so that ad does not show up on that business partnership page. Ad targeting does happen in DFP. It does not happen in Core Publisher. And Google has a great support center that provides information on custom targeting. If you are interested in doing custom targeting, we recommend you visiting the Google Support Center to understand how it works. They have definitions. They have different ways to get familiar with how custom targeting works. We really recommend, before setting up your custom targeting, having a conversation internally at the station with whoever is managing your underwriting or whoever is selling your ads, just so you are able to make sure you are all on the same page. Some questions you might want to have answered in that strategy conversation with your team. Does this ad need to be targeting, and where does it need to go? What is the benefit of ad targeting? Will I get the same benefit from having my ads set up as run of site or ROS? And we really just recommend having a strategy for this before you move forward with targeting. To set up custom ad targeting, you will have to add your custom targeting keys into DFP. So let's talk about that. How do you set up custom targeting keys? So the first step in setting up custom targeting keys would be to go to your actual site, your responsive site on Backstage. Once you're live, you can go on your live site, but custom targeting is only enabled for responsive sites, so if you try to do this on Modular or River, it will not work. However, you can definitely test out custom targeting once you get your Backstage site. So on your site, on Backstage for now, you would find the appropriate page, program, topic, category, person, or post. You can make it as granular as you want, or you can make it as broad as you want. So if you want an ad to show up on all of your categories, you can set that. If you want an ad to show up on all of your post pages and only on all of your post pages, you can set that up as well. So once you go to the specific page, you want to right-click and select view page source to see that page's source code. And it really depends on what your browser is, but there are, I know Safari, it's a little harder to find the page source, so let me know if you don't know how to do that, or you can just Google how to find your page source in Safari. But for Firefox, it's pretty easy. You just right-click. The next step is to find the targeting key value pairs. So key value pair is going to include a key in parentheses and then a colon, and then you're going to find the value in parentheses. And then each key value pair is separated by commas. And this is going to be found in the source code. So in order to find this in the huge amount of code that it is on your page, you want to actually search for the term targeting. So you just want to do a control find or a command find and type in targeting on your page to find your key value pairs. And there's going to be a long string of code. What I like to do is just copy that code, that line of targeting. I copy that and place it on a plain text editor because it's easier to see. You don't have to see the rest of the code on the page. You just really want that one line of code. So once you find that target key value pair and you see the values that you want, you're going to have to determine how granular or how broad you want your scope to be. So an example is we have this line of code here above that says targeting. Type is the key, that's the first option, and then the colon, the value is ag. So if you see type is the value, type is the key, that means I would like my ad to go to any page that has type and that has the value of ag. So that's any aggregation page. Aggregation pages are basically any page that has a river of content on it. So that's your people pages, your program pages, your topic pages, your categories, your tags. That's any page that has the key type and has the value ag. Now, what if you wanted to target specifically to your home page? So if you wanted to get more granular, you're going to look a little further down on that code list, and you're going to see there's a key that's called ag, and then there's a value called homepage. So your key value pair, if you want to target a specific ad to your homepage, is going to be ag homepage. So that's the key value pair, and it gets even more granular. So if you were targeting to a specific post, then your key is going to be something like ag, and your value is going to be the node ID number for that post, which is unique for each post on your site. So you just really want to think about how granular or how broad you want your targeting to be. So after you have your code, you have your key value pairs, then you're going to want to log into your DFP account and go to the Inventory tab again. This time you want to select Custom Targeting from the left menu. So there is a menu on the left side of your page on the Inventory tab. You want to select Custom Targeting. So before you can target anything, you have to enter these keys, these key value pairs into DFP. So you want to click on New Key, and then that's going to bring you to a screen where you can enter in your key value pair. In the name field, you want to enter your key. That's the first part of the pair. And then you want to select Add Values, and that's where you're going to enter your value. So the value is going to show up kind of in a pop-up window, so you can enter your value there. You can enter multiple values, so if you have the same key and you're noticing you're using that same key but you're having different values, so it's going to be your key is ad, but your value is homepage, and then you might have another page you're targeting and you're saying, oh, I have a key that's ad, but my value is about us, then you want to enter that there. So you can enter more than one, or you can do them one at a time. It might be a little easier when you're first getting started to just do your key value pairs and enter them one at a time. So you want to click the Apply button to save those changes. And then it's going to bring you back to your custom targeting keys list. So you're going to have an actual list down below that's going to show you all of the targeting keys that you've created over time. You can set up as many custom targeting keys as you need to in DFP, and you can always go back to this page and edit it or delete it if you need to. So once you set up your key value pairs in the system, the next thing you want to do is associate that custom targeting to your ads. So you want to go into the Orders tab, click on the name of the order that you wish to update, find the line item that you're delivering, and then you want to scroll down again to that very bottom section that's called Ad Targeting, and you want to select the custom criteria. The custom criteria is an option in the left-hand side of the screen, so you want to make sure you're looking for that. And then there's an open field where you can begin to type in your key value pairs. So you'll notice there will be a drop-down. This is an autocomplete field, so as you start to type in, it is going to look for those value pairs that you already have entered in the system. And you want to select Add if that is your key value pair. You want to select your key value pair item, and then you can enter in your value. So homepage is the value here, and then you can add the set. And if you wanted to add multiple custom targeting key value pairs to the specific ad, then you can add more. Once you do click that Add Set, it's going to move that custom criteria over here into the right row, so you'll be able to see what custom targeting you have for that ad, and you can always use the little X to remove it if you made a mistake or you want to change something in the future. Now what happens if you have a key value pair and instead of you wanting to incorporate that ad on a page, you want to make sure that ad does not show up on a specific page or a specific area of your site? You would do the same thing. You want to make sure you have that key value pair added into your DFP account, and then you want to go to the line item for that specific ad, and you're going to enter in the key value pair. So if I didn't want an ad to show up on my home page, I would go to the ad targeting section on that line item, click on custom criteria, and then I would start to type in my key. In this case, I don't want it to show up on my home page, so my key is ad. And there's a little drop down, you might not have noticed this before, but it says is, and then you can also choose is not. So you can just select that drop down area, and you can choose is not if you want to negatively target or you want something to not show up on the home page. And after you click is not, then you would enter in your value, which is home page. And then you want to make sure before you leave this area, just with any changes you make on this page, you always want to hit that save button before you leave. And there is a Google Console. Someone else asked me about this in our kickoff call yesterday. There is the Google Console you can use. There is a link here, and I'll make sure we get these links to you as well. But you can use the Google Console if you want to learn more about key value pairs and ad targeting. So why don't we go into DFP and try this together. That will give you a chance to see how this actually works. All right, so why don't we take a look at some of the sites that are live and responsive now. So this is Michigan Radio, and they do have ads. You can see right here, this is an ad. And I am in Chrome, so I just right-clicked in my browser, and I can see there's easy access to view page source. Whoa, that's a lot of code. So how do I find my key value pairs? You want to do a control find if you're on a Mac, or command find if you're on a Mac, and a control find if you're on a PC. And you want to actually type in target. You can finish it with targeting, but there it is. It's found my targeting section. So this station has already done, you can see they've already set up their ads, because I can tell Michigan Radio Medium 1, Medium 2, all of the ad unit names they've added there. But what I really want to focus on right now is custom targeting. So I'm just going to copy this and place it into a plain text editor. And I'm just going to paste it into my plain text editor. Here it is. So this is the home page. So it's pretty simple targeting. I can target specifically to the home page, or I can say I don't want something to target to the home page. If I wanted to go more granular, for example, I want to have something target to this specific post, you're going to do the same thing. You're going to view your source code, and you're going to find that targeting. And you can see it looks a little different because I'm on a post page as opposed to being on the home page. And I'm just going to copy my targeting there. So this is a more granular custom targeting set of key value pairs. I have my key, which is ID for a specific post, and then it tells me what the post unique identifier is, which is 21930. It also gives me the tags. So if I wanted to target to specific tags on my site, my key would be tags. And then here are all of the tags that are associated with this post. If I wanted to target to a specific category, then my key would be category. And my value would be environment/U0026 science. And this is just showing me all of the associations that one specific post has. So I can narrow down pretty much anything. So once I have that code, I need to enter it into my DFP account so I'm actually able to use that custom targeting key value pair. And so I want to click on Inventory. On the Inventory tab, I want to go to Custom Targeting in my left navigation. And I already have a bunch of custom targeting set up here. And you're going to see the same things over and over again. You're going to see the same keys like ag, ID, NID, tag, term, topic, program. There's only but so many keys that are available. So you're going to add a new key, and we're going to pretend that I didn't have any of these set up before. So if I wanted to have, let's go back to my, if I wanted to target specifically to this ID, then I can enter my key would be ID, and I enter that here where it says name, and then my value would be that number. So I think it was 21903. And then you can apply it, and it will let you know that it's saved. You want to make sure you click the Save button before you walk away from any of these pages. And then you'll see, as you start to build your custom targeting, you'll see all of those IDs will be listed. And you can always go in and edit if you need to. I need to go back and say, you know, I don't want to ever use this key value pair again. You can get rid of it, you can delete it, you can edit it, you can add more. So now that I've added my custom target pairs to DFP, I can actually go to my orders and I can start using these key value pairs. So I'm going to click on an order, and then I'm going to find my line item that I'm working on. It's an actual delivering line item. And then I want to scroll down the bottom to that add targeting area, and I want to click on custom criteria. You want to start typing in this field. It is an autocomplete field, and you can see it's already showing me the existing key value pairs that I've added in the system. I want to find ID. This is the is or is not drop down I mentioned. So if you want to negatively target an ad, so you don't want it to show up on this specific post, then you can use this is not. We're going to use is for now. And then you can type in the ID number that you entered. And then once you're done, you can add the set. And there it is. It's right here, custom criteria. ID is 2937. And if I don't want that criteria to be a part of this order or this line item anymore, I can just X that out. You would do the same thing if you want to negatively target. ID is not. You can add that set. And you can have multiple custom criteria. Just be careful. There is a little hint down here that lets us know if you want to include a value or if you want something that begins with a specific value, then you can use the tilde, or you can use this accent mark here. And you can click the Learn More if you want to have additional information. NPR Digital Services is happy to show you how to do this. However, we are not able to help with specific campaigns or help you customize your custom criteria or do any additional support. So we're happy to help during this setup time while you're getting started. We definitely will make sure that your ads are showing on Backstage and help you get set up and ready for your launch days. But unfortunately, we do not have the ability to do additional support. So if you're going to do custom criteria, we really encourage you to use the Google Support Center to understand it before you start setting it up. All right, so we have just about 5 minutes left. And I just wanted to show you guys briefly what the ads will look like on your site. So here is Vermont Public Radio, and they are using the banner ad at the top. This is a 720 by 90. Here, this is the home page look. So on your home page, you're going to notice the 300 by 250 medium rectangles. They're actually in line with your post. They have this little breaker line here as a style ad, but you're going to notice that they're going to show up actually in line with your post in the river. So you can see there's the first one, and they're going to show up around the first, the fourth, and around the 7th post. So if you have all 3 enabled, you're going to see that's where they show up on your home page. They will show up on your home page if you have the local, it's called the homepage river block. If you have the river block enabled, this is the default. They'll show up here aligned with your posts. There's also a way to place your ads. So if you determine, If you determine that your ad has to be at the top right above the fold, you can place your ad in a specific region. You'll manually have to move it to that placement like they have here. So they have placed their medium 1 and medium 2 rectangles here at the top above the fold. So you do have the ability to do that. They do not have them showing up in the river. So there are a few different options on how to place your ads on your home page. When it comes to the post page, your ads will show up automatically, once again, in line with the text. So there is no longer a right rail that is separating the ads. They're actually going to flow into inline in the post. So you're going to have to spend a little bit more time thinking about where your images are set up on your post. So we'll talk a lot about that in training next week. But this is just an idea of where the posts actually show up. So I'm going to take some time now to get to some questions, see if I have any. Am I right in understanding that we will add the ad unit prefix to an ad unit name, not an ad unit code? The name is editable, while a new code would require setting up a new ad unit. Yes, you're right. So you will add your ad unit prefix to that CSV file, and then you'll upload that CSV file with the ad unit prefix and the new ad unit names into your DFP account. I noticed at VPR they have a popover ad. Is that a part of Core Publisher or in DFP, or is that completely external? Great question. So NPR Core Publisher is their news section. It's not their home page. So if you go to VPR, you might notice the pop-up ad is on their home page. This is not their Core Publisher site. This is their homegrown site here. So the pop-up is on their non-Core Publisher site. If you go to their Core Publisher site, the pop-up isn't there. So we do not have or do not support light boxes or pop-up ads. We do not provide, we do not provide support code for doing pop-up ads. If you are able to do them in DFP, great. If you have the code on your own that you can set up in DFP, wonderful, it will support it, but we no longer provide code for pop-up ads. We used to previously, but we no longer have that code in responsive. So if you are working with a third-party partner like NPM, National Public Media, they might be able to help you set up pop-up codes. I know there is on Google, on the support center for DFP, there is some information about how to do that pop-up. There's like a template, a standard template in DFP that allows you to do a pop-up. You can look that up in the Google Support Center, but we no longer provide the code to do pop-up or light boxes from digital services. Great question. So the CSV file is actually in the email that I sent earlier today if you're one of my stations. Rakisha will also send it to you, but I could probably include it here. Let me put it in the chat window for all of you. So you do have that CSV file handy. I know sometimes there's a lot of information that we send your way. So I will put the Dropbox link right here in the chat window for you. All right, so we're just about at our hour here, and I want to thank you all for joining me. I just entered that CSV in the chat window for you, and if you have any questions, definitely bring them to your check-in call. Everyone, please, if you can, participate in the check-in call. It's really great when we have a lot of people on the line. So do your due diligence and your homework and send us your ad unit prefix and your your network code as soon as possible, and we'll make sure we get your backstage sites to you really soon. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. I look forward to working with my stations, and I'm sure Rakisha is looking forward to working with hers. I look forward to seeing you in the check-in call. If you have any questions, bring them to the check-in call or email me or Keisha. Have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.